Okay, so we have now the issue of how to push down a key on the piano with your fingers. We cannot use only weight as we could in the chord, you know. We have to use muscles to push down one single key with one single finger. Now, it's important to know what muscles to use and how to use them. It's quite simple, actually. And you have to go back to why we have hands and why we are created with hands and how that has served humankind. It's not actually, sadly, to play the piano. It is to grab things, which means that you open your hand and you close it to grab something up, to take something up, whatever it would be. So that is how I would like to use the muscles when I use my fingers to play the piano. And I will. The thing is, you have to know what muscle group does what. You have this set of hands. If you think of it, when you get tired, when you play, and you get, you know, some kind of burn out of muscle playing too fast and not really having the stamina for it, it's not your biceps that are hurting, right? Or that feels tired. It's here. It's right here. Sometimes here, but it's mostly here. Now, this is because when you play the piano and you lift your fingers, meaning you open up your hand, whoop, you can even feel it. If you put your fingertips here, you can feel how this is being activated here. So you use these muscles. To close the hand, now you can feel that if you do that and you put your fingertips under here, underneath, you can feel that those muscles are being used too. So that basically you open up your hand here and you close them there, and close the hand there. And the way this will work on piano and when you play is the piano with your fingers is basically, I'll take this chord. I'm going to use the left hand so that this camera can pick that up better. I'm going to use these 5 notes we talked about in the last video, even though it's not so pretty, but I'm going to put them in this spot. I'm going to push them down silently. So now they are down to the bottom of the key, all 5. And then I'm going to lift my second finger, and I'm not going to lift it like this. I'm not going to lift it with a straight finger only from the knuckle. I'm going to feel and do this. I'm going to feel like I'm opening up that finger. So open, and when I push down the key, I close that finger. Open, close, open, close, open, close. This is the basic, to me, sound and correct way to push down a key. Open, close, open, close. There are a lot of advantages and reasons for this, for me to say this. One is that if you lift like this, for example, you are using both set of muscles and they are kind of working against each other. If you do what I have seen quite a few people do, is like they are plucking the fingers. That's how they play. Now that's to me such a strange way of using your fingers, because if you end up after you play like this, you have to come out again, and it has to be that like this, like you're a dog, you know, or a squirrel at the piano. And I just don't think in the long run that's an effective way to play the piano. and it will limit your articulation immensely. We're going to talk about that in videos that are coming about articulation. But this is really important. So what I would like to do to anybody who doesn't feel that this is what they do is that the first 20 minutes or the last 20 minutes or in the middle of the day, at least 20 minutes, but it can be more, it can be as much as you ever like. I did it for a while and I felt like Superman every time. I did it for maybe 45 minutes, an hour even. And I did the list exercises. And you can do it like this, but you can also do it like he says with the 5 fingers on the first 5 notes of the C minor scale to start with. And he's going to go through all the scales, all the keys. So you can do that if you want. But then you have both hands and you use simultaneously the 5 and 1. So you play the same note. So you... This kind of different rhythms. Look them up, list exercises, phenomenal. But you have to do them right. You have to do them like this. Now, the thumb is special. We're going to deal with the thumb in the next episode. So I leave that for now. The thumb has its own rules because it's a very special finger, unlike the 4 others. But let's say that you have this. Now I'm only going to do the left hand. And you can do so many. Do it with metronome. And let's say just in the beginning, you can just have the metronome and you open on 1 click and you close on 1 click. So open, close, open, close, open, close. And then you could do variations of this. Do that with all the fingers. And be aware that the 4th finger will feel a little bit awkward, and don't lift it more than you can. If you can just lift it a little bit, you lift it a little bit, but you open, you don't force it up. So you open, open, close, open, close, even with the 4th finger, right? It's not a, for me it's, I have not the worst 4th finger, but right now it's not the best either. But it should never feel like it's straining or hurting in that 4th finger when you do that. Just open it what you can and let that be. Then you can do some variations on this, already practicing a little bit the different kind of articulations you can do, meaning that you can, for example, you can lift only halfway. First, you lift the whole way, you open up. Now, so that's basically straight. And then you can open up, so it's only halfway, but you're still opening up. And then what you can do is that you try to follow the metronome, open up, but come back as quick as you can. Meaning you're not doing open, open, close, open, close. You're doing close, open, close, open, close, open, close. And then you do maybe in between. You do longer and longer and shorter note, longer and longer silences in between. And then you end up doing exactly the contrary. And that you are actually up and closing, coming up right away. That is an excellent way to practice articulation, and we will get to that in a couple of episodes. But this is the very basic way of and a very sound way to lift by opening up and closing. Opening up, closing. Opening up, closing. So that is what I would like to, it's the simple thing that you can take from this episode, really. You don't need to think of much more. But the list, not the list etudes, is the list piano exercises. And they are excellent, actually, I think. And if you can do this 20 minutes a day, maybe at the end of a practice session where you are kind of tired and you don't, because this doesn't require a lot of emotional input. Really, it doesn't. So it can even be quite pleasant and relaxed to just sit and do this yoga-ish like. To just do this because it is pleasant and it should be pleasant. So open up, close. That's the way to move your fingers.